दोस्तों प्रीवियस ईयर डिक्टेशन सीरीज़ को आगे बढ़ाएंगे और आपको आज मैं प्रोवाइड करूंगा ये मैटर ग्रेड सी का मैटर है। डिक्टेशन होगी 1000 वर्ड्स की और 100 WPM की स्पीड होगी। इस क्लास में आपको डिक्टेशन प्रोवाइड कर रहा हूँ, बी रेडी फॉर इट। सर, I thank all the honorable members who have participated in this discussion on salary, allowances and pension of Members' Amendment Bill 2010. I am happy that this time we have taken up this matter for discussion in the House to avoid the criticism that we pass the bill relating to our salaries without discussion in the House. This is the general perception among the public that the members of parliament decides their salaries on their own and there is no opposition to it. But today that perception will be changed. We have a very good discussion. In fact, the Constitution enjoins this responsibility on us, and I would, in this case, very briefly refer to Article 106. Members of either House of Parliament shall be entitled to receive such salaries and allowances as may, from time to time, be determined by Parliament by law. There are two words, by Parliament and by law. All these years, I agree with some of the honorable members that Parliament has been determining the salaries by law. Today, we are seeking an amendment to the law itself. There is no denying the fact that there is a universal acceptance or rather demand for this, that henceforth we give up this power of ours within the parameters of the constitutional provisions, and that means the law as such has to be amended to provide for a permanent mechanism. The law as such may not have to be amended, but some provision there would entitle that this matter is decided by the Commission. But the important point that would still remain is that do the recommendations of that mechanism or the Commission or whatever we call it come to the Parliament again? These are the points which will have to be discussed. It was in this context that I had said that the Cabinet in its meeting decided in principle that a mechanism needs to be set up. But so many questions have arisen thereafter. I can say from my personal experience during this last 1 year that views have been expressed on this. That view has been expressed by one honorable member today also. That is a contrary view to this, who says that this right is vested in us and we have to exercise it ourselves, of course, with discretion and judiciously. It is not that we have unlimited power in our hands. We have to be answerable to the people and we have to see as to what we do, because we have to really act as the representatives of the people. But nevertheless, I, and for that matter the government, in view of the developments in the last few days, that it is time now that we set up a mechanism for this. There is no denying the fact. I am afraid it would be extremely difficult for me to announce the setting up of such a mechanism as demanded by senior leader from the opposition within the next 2 or 3 days. But I can assure this House that we would like to have wide-ranging consultations on this. This will be a departure from the law that we have been following since 1954. Therefore, this does call for some discussion as to who are the people who have got to be associated with it and with whom we place this right for the future. Having said that, I would very briefly refer to some points which are very pertinent, and I am very happy that the honorable members have raised those points, and this debate has given us that opportunity to go into the people and say that this is what we feel about it. It was a good number of honorable members who said, though of course there was a contrary view again by honorable member, but the predominant view as was expressed by the honorable members was to effect that if the parliament does not function, then we should not take our daily allowances. Our perceptions, our concepts differ as to what work is. But if we come to the parliament to transact business, I think that is the work which the parliament is supposed to be doing. The other work, that is, maybe the sound of democracy, at times prevails over the reason of democracy, but ultimately it is the reason of democracy which has to prevail over the sound of democracy. In the parliament, it is the reason of democracy which should prevail. Outside, of course, we are all political workers. We can take our voice to whatever level we wish to. But I think in this context, this point that has been made here, that if for any reason, for our own reasons, if the parliament is not able to function for a day, we should provide for it that for that day we do not take our daily allowance. This point, as also the point relating to attendance, the secretarial assistance, that was indeed a very pertinent point which has been made. As honorable member said, we have to work maybe on certain important matters about which we do not have the information. Accepting that as a layman, as a representative of the people, as a conscientious political worker, we do want to participate in something which may be very technical. For that, perhaps you do need some research assistance. There could be people from the universities and elsewhere to help us. But I am not in a position to really say more than that on this. Having said that, I just want to very briefly refer to the point relating to pension. We did consider this point, but I must say once and for all that we should not compare ourselves with any service whatsoever. If I were to say so, that would rather be demeaning ourselves. We have to put ourselves in a different bracket. We are not government servants, we are public representatives. Maybe our work is 24 hours and 365 days, but we are not government servants. Therefore, we must not try to compare ourselves with the government servants. To arrest the growing suspicion in the public about the politician, about the parliament, and for that matter, democracy itself, it is our duty to overcome this growing suspicion. Therefore, I can only say that we must all put our heads together to see as to what mechanism we work out for the future. With these words, I thank all the honorable members who have participated in the discussion and who have expressed their support to this bill, and I commend that this bill be taken into consideration. दोस्तों इसी के साथ डिक्टेशन फिनिश होती है। उम्मीद करता हूँ बहुत अच्छे से आपने लिखा होगा। कोई प्रॉब्लम अगर आपको लिखने में हुई है तो उन वर्ड्स की आप प्रैक्टिस कीजिए। हालांकि ये मैटर सबसे इजी मैटर्स में से एक है। मुलाकात करता हूँ अगली क्लास में अगली ट्रांसक्रिप्शन के साथ। तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, टेक केयर।